Alright gamers, no long intros, no annoying advertisements. I'm Shield Maiden and I'm going to get you through King's Fall. The Hall of Souls. You're going to want 2 teams of 3, one on the left and one on the right. 2 relics must be dunked at the same time. The timer will be counting down and relics will disappear when it runs out. People running with the orb carriers need to kill adds and destroy taken walls blocking the way. You're going to do this 6 times over, and the orb locations change every single time. They start closer to the beginning of the encounter and get further back into those rooms the longer the encounter goes on. Really, you just want to add clear weapons and supers here. Totems. You're also going to want 2 teams of 3 here. Pick up the brand and run to the totem to start the encounter. Stand under it and kill adds to get Deathsinger's power. A wizard will spawn in the middle that needs to be killed. This will spawn a knight that also needs to die. The knight will drop the brand claimer and the second person from each team will pick it up and run to their partner. Once relieved, the first team member will run to the middle plate, deposit Deathsinger's power, kill the wizard and knight, pick up the brand claimer, and run back to the totem. Repeat this until the runes on the doorframe are completely finished. Warpriest. Again, 3 teams of 2. One on the left, one on the right, and one in the middle. Step on all 3 plates to start the encounter. You're going to kill adds all around the room. Killing a large wizard will spawn a yellow bar knight. Killing the yellow bar knights on all 3 sections will start the glyph sequence. To begin, step on the middle plate to see the first plate to step on. Mid will step off, and the assigned person steps on. That person then tells the others where to go. So if mid calls out left first, mid will step off, and then left will step on, and you will be able to see which plate should be stepped on next. So then left would call out right or mid, and then the last person would get on after that. The last person to step on will get a brand of the initiate with a large red bubble. You have to be standing in this bubble to do damage. So it's good to pick out a spot of where to do DPS from before the encounter starts so everybody knows. Damage can be extended by killing large taken knights around the room. Kill taken knights to get the brand claimer and go to DPS. Then you'll swap the buff and then kill a second knight, swap the buff, and that's how you extend DPS. Once DPS is finished, you have to stand behind one of the pillars on the wall to prevent getting killed by the Oculus. We usually take the brand and pop a well right up next to the boss, and then use the right rock formation first, the middle rock formation second, and if we need it, the left rock formation third. Meta DPS weapons and supers with divinity work really well here. Golgoroth. You're going to want 4 people for DPS and 2 gaze holders. You're going to run around the outside of the room killing all of the adds that spawn it. When all the adds are dead, run back to the first glowing sack. I hate that I have to call it a glowing sack. Shoot the sack down to start DPS. You have to be standing in the goop to get the full damage. When swapping gaze, the DPS team will need to shoot down a new sack to do damage from. Someone in the group doing DPS will get unstable light. It's a debuff that shows up on the left side of your screen. Your screen's going to change color and you'll hear a sound. Run out of the group that's doing DPS and run to Golgi so that you can do damage to him. If you have unstable light and you sit around everybody else who's doing DPS, you're gonna get everybody killed. During damage, 2 people are swapping the gaze. Shoot Golgi in the back to get the gaze. Count down for your partner to get in position to take the gaze. You're going to repeat that for all 6 sacks, alternating the gaze every single time. The pillar in the pit will wipe if too many poison sacks are not shut down to extend damage phases. When you have the gaze, make sure you're standing behind the people who are in the pit doing DPS. This makes sure that the crit spot is open to them while Golgoroth is focused on you. Daughters of Oryx. You're going to want 1 person for each plate and 2 floaters. Find the plate with the knight, that's going to be where you start. Jumping on that plate will let you see an orb above one of the other 3 plates. It kind of looks like Toland. The assigned person will get on the plate to spawn the platforms for the person who is torn between dimensions. When someone gets the torn buff, that person will start on the beginning plate and jump through the air onto the spawned platforms up to the floating orb. Pick up the orb, tell the people to get off the plate. You repeat that 3 times. On the 3rd run, the orb holder will dunk on the Deathsinger that is shooting at people. You're going to jump to the opposite step for DPS. Kill the first daughter, repeat again, and kill the remaining daughter. Definitely recommend galley, meta DPS rockets, and DPS supers with divinity. Oryx. You're going to repeat the steps from the Deathsingers to create the platforms from plate to plate. Every plate is going to have a taken knight on it now. Oryx will move around the room for the first plate. For the second and third run of the platforms, Oryx isn't going to move or slam his fist. You just have to look for the plate with the green ring around it. Ogres will spawn next to each of the 4 plates. Once killed, a knight will spawn on the opposite side of the room that also needs to be killed. If this knight doesn't go down, it's going to steal one of the orbs dropped from the ogre. These orbs are used to stun Oryx during DPS. The third person to grab the orb will dunk it on a new yellow bar knight called the Vessel of Oryx. Kill the knight, and then everyone goes to their taken blights. There's going to be a 3, 2, 1 countdown from somebody on your fire team, preferably somebody that can see Oryx's hand. After Oryx slams his hand, you get into the orbs. Your name will then appear in the activity feed. When it does, run to the middle to start DPS, and you just repeat this until final stand. After DPS, people will go back to their assigned plates for Shade of Oryx or bombs. If it's the Shade of Oryx, you're going to get teleported one by one in to kill the Shade of Oryx. If it's bombs, run around your assigned plate until they're completely gone. For final stand, 2 ogres will spawn on the right and on the left. 2 people will kill the ogres, go next to the blights, and then go in when Oryx calls upon the darkness text appears in the activity feed. Once popped, go back to the middle and finish damage. I definitely recommend meta DPS weapons and supers with divinity. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, subscribe, and check out the videos on screen for more Destiny 2 content. Bye!